Hello, everybody, and welcome to Honor Thy Podcast. This is the weekly DCTV Arrowverse podcast where we discuss everything Arrowverse. I'm your host, Declan McKinney. You may know me as the host of DCTV Talk, and with me, as always, is my co-host, Dan McCance, otherwise known as Mule Kick Media.
Hey, Supergirl wasn't awful this week.
We are making progress, friends. We are getting somewhere. This is good. Arrowverse was pretty good this week on the whole, given the fact that Supergirl was actually not too bad. You know, Pawn's making its way into it. We've actually got a pretty decent week overall. So before we get into all that, we have got a little bit of news. I got a couple more teasers for Elseworlds. The first one came with the previously mentioned Supergirl. This one confused me a little bit and gave me more questions because you see Kara locked up in the pipeline in Star Labs, and she's there, and then Alex shows up in a black suit which has the House of L symbol on it, so she's working for the black suit Superman. Now this confuses me because from what I can gather, this is not necessarily Elseworlds, like in terms of it being completely separate to the continuity. This is very much canon. So who is this Alex? Where is she from? Because I didn't know, because surely this must be multiversal.
Yeah, it's gotta be. I mean,
so you know, I mean, we just have to wait and see. But like, I just find it strange.
This was by far like the most confusing one out of all the ones that we've gotten so far. Like, even I don't have a clue. I mean, to be fair, and I don't know if this was because I was watching it at such a stupid time, like the episode or the teaser, but I struggled to tell that it was actually Alex at first.
Yeah,
because of the fact that she got the ponytail at the back.
Yeah,
so I completely forgot.
Because we've been so used to Alex's sick new haircut that she's had in season 4. It's just like now she's got like something like it's a bit more reminiscent of like a season 1 sort of haircut.
Yeah.
So it's a bit strange. This one just confused me a little bit. I mean, just like the other two though, it is just a 20-second teaser. But this one just gave me more questions because this makes me think that there's something to be done with the multiverse here, and that tells me that maybe Black Suit Superman is from another Earth, and in which case, which Earth is it? How is it involved? What's going on? What is this crossover? Yeah, I mean, this crossover kind of makes my head hurt already, but I think that's a good thing. I'm excited though. Yeah, I thought we were gonna get a full-length trailer this week.
Yeah, that's what I was waiting for. I was like, we're getting all these teasers. Like, surely, maybe we'll get a trailer, and it's like, no.
I guarantee you, the second we finish recording, it gets released.
Oh, definitely. Watch it now. Just get released at some random stupid time after this comes out.
If it does, I mean, me and Dan normally stick around for a little bit after we finish recording. So if it does kind of come up tonight, then we'll probably just like add an additional bit on. And we'll edit it in using the power of my magical editing. We'll put it in. So anyway, this first teaser, cool, but again, just a bit more confusing.
Yeah.
And then we also got our Batwoman teaser, which we finally got our first name drop of Batman. Finally, like we've had Bruce Wayne and we've had hints, but we've never actually heard the word Batman in the Arrowverse.
So all when people are like, "Oh, Batman doesn't exist," nah, he exists.
Now again, this confuses me. What Earth is this? Is this Earth 1? Like, because in which case, why has Batman never been referenced before? Because it's just like you hear Stephen Amell say, "Oh, he's a what did he say? He says Batman is a what does he say?
I can't remember this.
He says something along the lines of, he's a myth or whatever.
Yeah, Batman's a myth, yeah,
like something along them lines. And so Stephen Amell, Oliver Queen, who's Barry Allen, he's aware of Batman. I don't know, it's weird. And then we do get, we'll skip the Batman thing. Batman exists. And then we do have, Batwoman, Ruby Rose coming down as Batwoman, get revealed. Again, Ruby Rose, we're not happy about it.
Yeah, I mean, I was thinking to myself, why did they not show her speaking?
Yeah, I was just
maybe they're just like in the back of their heads. Shit, she's sharing that good.
I mean, luckily. It's a shame I'm saying this. It's a shame I'm saying luckily because in theory, Ruby Rose aside, I would like Batwoman to be in this entire crossover, but luckily she seems to be only in the Arrow episode. It appears
that's quite strange. I would have thought she'd been in all the crossover.
Especially because when they first announced this crossover, she was like the big thing.
Yeah, she was the thing like that they were advertising.
That was how they pitched
it.
That's how they pitched it.
Yeah.
We're going to be doing Batwoman. But then I think as soon as like the costume swap poster came out, that's kind of what it's been. And that's obviously what the teasers have mostly been playing off of. And you do see, like, we do actually get some lines of dialogue. Like, we do see Grant Gustin as Oliver Queen, Green
Saying
Arrow.
that's not Batman, yeah.
Yeah, and we do see Cisco there. Now, I believe that is Earth 1 Cisco, because there are some photos released, which I'll mention in a sec. But I'm guessing this is Earth 1 Cisco, which is cool. And then he's also aware of who Batman is, which doesn't surprise me. But then, does that contradict the Easter egg that we got that time on the Flash when Cisco said where he did the Flash signal?
Oh yeah, it's like, I read it in a comic once.
Yeah, so what does that mean?
Yeah, I don't know.
I mean, that's looking too much into it. That was just a throwaway Easter egg.
That's from an erased timeline.
True. But yeah, I did like the Batwoman teaser. I'm glad that Ruby Rose didn't speak, because it probably would have ruined it. But I mean, again, we've been over this a million times, but like, the suit looks good. You know, it does look good in live action.
Yeah, it's very good.
I like
the shot they had of him. Yeah, the shot they had of like Batwoman as well, like to open up that little Batwoman teaser, where it's just like her.
Oh yeah.
I'm not gonna lie, that was pretty neat. Like,
yeah,
I like.
Cool. And we do get to see like the Batwoman signal as well, the Bat signal. We do get to see that.
No, I actually looked at this a second time, and I'm pretty sure it is the same like Batman logo from the Batman Arkham games. Correct me if I'm wrong.
It does look similar. I'm gonna sort of have a look at this, because I'm pretty sure it was, because it does look similar, because the Arkham one is very round.
It's very like rounded, yeah. Because the Dark Knight trilogy one, it's a very like straight one. But obviously the Arkham games have one that's a little bit more rounded, because that's what I couldn't help but look at. I was like, did they just like straight up steal that logo from the Arkham games?
Yeah, I'm looking this up now, because I'm going to look at them side by side, because I do agree it does look very, very similar.
Very suspicious.
Here we go. Yeah, I mean, okay, it's a very minuscule difference, but the Arkham one, the wings kind of come up higher. But in terms of its like shape and its design and the roundness of it, it's definitely there, and like the spikes are the same. It's basically the Batwoman one like seems a bit wider. Yeah, I mean, I don't know. We're such nerds.
We have no lives.
I know, looking at this shit. I'm doing this live as well. But yeah, anyway. Cool teaser. I did enjoy it. Looked good. Just glad that Ruby Rose didn't speak in it.
Me too.
Now we did get like our first like official promo photos as well. Which a lot of them are just kind of like your average sort of stuff. But the stuff that came out most to me is when we see other characters. We see Cisco and James. We see Cisco. Now, the reason I brought up Cisco in that teaser is because we do see another version of Cisco here, who appears to be running a club of some kind, or like maybe some criminal business. We can see he's got loads of money on his table. He's got a bit of a ponytail going on. His look looks kind of similar to how he looked in the musical crossover. He's kind of got that going on, and this is when Oliver and Barry are the Tornado Twins. No, not the Tornado Twins. What are they called? Trigger Twins.
Trigger Twins.
And so it seems like the Trigger Twins are working for Cisco, and then James shows up in these photos.
Oh my god!
Rocking a mustache, and I've got to admit, I love the fact that James is in this crossover. I think that's great, because he had a very brief appearance in Crisis on Earth X.
It was still cool because he got more of a storyline in that one like cameo than he did for all of season 3.
Yeah, like he actually got a cool fight as Guardian in that episode against Oliver Queen. Like that was pretty cool. I mean, he died, but still, which is what the Supergirl writers are just waiting to do.
Yeah.
But yeah, I'm really happy that James.
To be fair, what episode of the crossover did that happen in? The Supergirl episode.
The Supergirl episode. Yeah, it's the opening scene. But yeah, to be honest, when I saw James in these photos, I got really excited, especially because I remember seeing I think Grant Gustin posted it on his Instagram like a month ago or so, of like him, Carlos Valdez, and Mehcad Brooks, and I was like, holy shit, James is in this. And then yeah, this is him. He's got a mustache. He seems to be maybe like the head of security in this place. That's the sort of vibe I'm getting. I think that's awesome though. I love that. Especially because Supergirl characters don't really get much to do in these crossovers. Like, we got Alex last year, and she got a pretty heavy role, but other than her, like, James wasn't in it, Wynn wasn't in it, 1L wasn't in it. But, like, here, we're actually getting James, we're obviously getting Alex. I wonder if we'll get, like, Brainiac 5's in it. as well. Brainy's going to be in the final episode. Obviously, we've got Superman as well. So, yeah, Supergirl's getting a lot more of a presence, which I like, because I do like the Supergirl characters for the most part, despite what I say about the show.
It's just the writing where it falls flat.
And obviously, if they go onto other shows, they're likely to get better writing. So, like, I remember, like, some of the Arrow characters when Arrow was getting awful writing, and they went onto the crossovers, and they were written so much better. So yeah, it'll be cool. I did like those photos though.
Yeah, those were very dark days when that happened.
Dark days.
I don't want to be reminded of them.
No, think about the good times. Think about where we're at now.
Best Schwartz.
Best Schwartz. But we'll get to Best Schwartz later on. But yeah, I like these photos. They were pretty cool. I enjoyed them, and they just get me more hyped. We should be getting the trailer like, I mean, I'm gonna say next week now.
Nah, I'm gonna call it. It's gonna happen after like almost. I want to say a few hours after we upload this, it will probably come out, and then we will sit here like absolute idiots, just being like, should have held on.
Yeah,
should have held on.
Yeah. Well, we could have done it tomorrow, but you'll be in work tomorrow night, so you know.
Exactly. We got to make compromises.
Exactly. So if the trailer does drop, just know we'll be talking about it next week.
Yeah.
So, we'll move over to our reviews. As we've mentioned, Supergirl, not too bad this week, not too shabby indeed.
Yeah, I mean, not too bad, but because I'm Mr. Negative, I will still say I did not enjoy it.
Well, I was enjoying it for the most part until the bloody dragon showed up.
The dragon bit was what killed it for me.
Yeah, exactly, yeah.
That felt so unnecessary. It was almost like they were like the Supergirl writers just go for the whole episode like, oh shit, nothing like big has happened.
We need a fight.
Let's just throw a fucking dragon. Let's throw a dragon on the screen.
Like, I mean, they never actually. I assume that that's like a dragon from space because they don't actually say it. I assume it is because it belonged to an alien family.
Yeah. I bet somebody at the Supergirl writing room was just like overhearing Arrow conversations about the dragon, and they're like, "Oh, we could do that.
We can have our own version of the dragon.
We could have our own shitty version of the dragon."
But you can't compare to Ricardo Diaz. You just can't.
Exactly. I mean,
imagine if Kirk Acevedo voiced it.
That would have been the best thing in the world.
Smile, Cora. It's your lucky day. Oh, I love it. These Supergirl writers just need to embrace the ridiculousness, but not like this. This was too much.
Oh, God.
I didn't enjoy this.
That was bullshit. But then again, I shouldn't be surprised at awful action sequences, considering it was directed by Mr. Antonio Negre, who directed one of the worst movies ever made in Overdrive.
It's funny. So it's funny how you mentioned it. I didn't even know this until you told me afterwards.
No. As soon as I saw this dragon sequence, I was like, this better not be this fucking idiot. It better not be him. And then I look it up on IMDb. I'm just, no, why? Can this man just not get a job anymore, please? He's an awful, awful man. He made Overdrive.
I love the fact he's returned to the Arrowverse. He's back.
He made Overdrive. I will never get that hour and a half of my life back.
And it's going to be sitting in your Blu-ray collection forever. Oh, embrace it, man. So we had that amazing dragon fight, but other than that, I think this episode was kind of decent. Like,
I had some issues though.
I'll have to say, biggest positive of the episode for me, as always, Sam Witwer.
Yeah, Sam Witwer was. I like the fact that we saw a lot more of his family. Like, in this episode good. Again,
because they don't really show him ever since the episode 3. But we got that. I do like the scene between him and Kara at that debate because it's when Kara walks in and then she's like, oh. And the news host is like, "Oh, it's time to meet your competitor." And the way he swivels round on that chair with that smile on his face, I was like, "Yes, that was perfect. That was exactly what I want from a villain." Like Ben Locke was easily my favorite villain on Supergirl, ever.
Oh, by far.
I liked Rain. I liked Rain, but this guy is another level. This guy's great. This guy is too good for this show.
Yeah, I think it's just awesome for the fact that he's such a great villain, yet he has absolutely no superpowers.
Yeah, that's what's great.
It's weird to think. It's almost like this is a villain that should belong on Arrow. Yeah. But yet it's it just works so well. Like Sam Witwer is the GOAT. He is the GOAT. No disputing that claim.
He is.
I just like the fact he's such a human character, and you get to see more of his family and things like that. It's kind of like what they tried to do with Rain last year, but failed because, Ruby was just a god-awful character. Whereas at least here, his family is not annoying.
No, they're actually fairly decent. And, I think the thing is with Ben as well, it's just, his story, in terms of the fact we got that episode very early on in the season has been really helpful. And
Yeah.
also, the Children of Liberty, I think, is a really great idea. I'm really liking that idea of the Children of Liberty, and I'm really enjoying them. I like the fact, they wear the masks, and they all like, we are Agent Liberty and things like that. I like that concept. It's working quite well, and the way that they are doing that, I enjoyed all the Children of Liberty stuff. And obviously the way that's actually tying into James, the fact that James is actually getting a story, we're actually seeing the wheels spinning here.
Oh my god.
We're getting somewhere.
I never thought we would ever see this day coming.
No, I don't think any of us did, but we're finally there. And James, I mean, next episode looks to be a big James episode, so we'll get back to you. But I think that's a really awesome start for him, and I'm loving all the stuff, especially because him and Lena finally have an argument, which is great.
Yeah. I mean, it's finally the end of that relationship, so all the LexCorp fans can just be sitting there like, yay.
Do you know what I saw a ship for yesterday?
I think I already heard you say about this. Isn't it between Helena Bertinelli and Lena Luthor? Yeah. And it was only because of the fact that the two actresses have worked together on another show where they played a couple. I already know about this. It's these kind of people. Like, I admire your creativity.
Yeah, but
it's just like,
please just stop.
Just stop.
Yeah.
Like, and also like the hate that Mahad Brooks was getting on Twitter during the episode. Honestly, you people are so racist.
Yeah.
Like, it was ridiculous. Like, I'm seeing people go like, "Oh, you don't deserve Lena." You like, I'm not going to say these words obviously because I don't want to get this video flagged. But
don't want to lose our monetization rights, Stan.
Fam, we don't even have 1,000 subs. But no, it's like that. That's just like disrespectful, man. Like, I didn't like that, and yeah, it's just like people just can't cope with the fact that James is having a story. I mean, yeah, it's a bit weird because he's not usually getting a story, but
we're not used to it.
Racism is not allowed. Just saying.
No, it's not okay. But I am happy though with James getting a story. Next episode was quite interesting, just because I love Mekar Brooks. I do. I think it's great. I think he really like. I honestly want him to get an offer for another show.
I want him to get an offer for another show, and then we can meet him at Heroes and Villains next year, and we can be like mega thankful to him. You finally got off this god awful show.
Yeah,
good man. And then he'll dishes out his free LP.
Yes. And another thing that I really liked in this episode, which this kind of spans in from the Children of Liberty, Brainiac 5's fight scene was
that was funny.
Possibly the best fight in the history of Supergirl. I mean, like, this was like really funny because it's like,
this is a character just does not. You wouldn't imagine fighting someone, and then you put them in this scene.
And what really impressed me, because I have to say, writers, you subverted my expectations here. I thought with Brainiac 5 going out in the field and these group of Agent Liberty, Children of Liberty, I thought, he's going to get captured or, whatever, damsel in distress, basically. But nah, Brainy can handle himself, and I was happy about that. I like the fact that he was just able, and the way he just has his hand behind his back the entire time, and he's just like dodging all these things, and the music that plays is fantastic. He's just running up walls. Like, I thought this was great. Like, I love Brainy. I love him so much. I hope Jesse Rath goes to Heroes and Villains next year, because I think he's just like such a treasure on this show, and he's so funny.
He's so good. Like, he's by far the best, like, I'd say one of the best like comedy characters we're getting at the moment on the shows, like because he's just everything he does is just so funny.
He is great. It's just his comedic presence is really hilarious, and I like the fact that even though I really loved Win, like Win's probably one of my favorite characters, and I'm really excited to see him return this season. I don't mind that he's been replaced with Brainy because I think Brainy's like he's just equally as funny, but then in a different way, and I think that's good. I was actually thinking about this. I'm actually really excited for Win to return because we know he's recurring and he'll be in the back half, I think. But like, seeing as he's actually a member of the Legion, he must have his own suit.
Yeah,
that's gonna be cool.
Yeah, really cool.
That's gonna be cool.
It's gonna be more fun just to watch him come back, and then if Mon-El's just not there, everyone will just lose their minds on Twitter.
I know, yeah. It is gonna be weird though. Like, I'm surprised. To be honest, I wouldn't be surprised if they just pay Mon-El or they pay Chris Wood for like a guest spot on whatever episode Win's there. Even though, didn't they say they had no plans for Mon-El?
Yeah, no plans for him, yeah.
Yeah, it's going to be weird.
His story is done. Accept it.
Anyway, after that tangent, Brainiac 5, amazing.
Yeah.
And then we did have like stuff for Colonel Haley in this episode, which like I'm so confused by this character.
Yeah, this character just like is so flip-flop. Like, it's like one moment she's, all like against aliens and shit like that. And it's like the next scene, she's like, "Oh no, I'm cool with it. I respect you." It's like make your mind up.
Yeah, it's like the writers can't decide what characters wants to be. I mean, it would have been fine like the first time they did it, but then it's just like they keep doing it every single episode now, where it's like, she starts off on one end of the spectrum, then by the end she comes to the other. So like she's not a singular, complete character. It's strange. I don't.
She just feels like a character that's only there to cause drama when the story needs it. That's what it feels like. Like she doesn't feel like a proper character.
Yeah, I don't know what her purpose is. I don't even know. I can't see what the writers are going for.
I don't think anybody. No one can. No one can see what's going.
It's a strange character. It's really odd to me. I don't know how long she'll stick around. I think she's recurring, so.
Oh, don't tell me this new.
At least she's not a regular, but I think I mean, she might be a regular. I might be wrong, but we'll have to wait and see with that. But yeah, she's definitely one of the weaker parts of this episode and this season so far. Just because, again, I don't know what they're doing with that character. I don't know, and it's so poorly handled. I don't know what they're doing. But yeah, I think that for the most part, like all the scenes in this episode, like the Thanksgiving scene was weird. Like,
that was weird. Yeah,
I mean, although this episode wasn't as forcedly political as it usually is, take it to the Supergirl characters to make a lovely little Thanksgiving dinner all about politics.
Yeah, that was just like, that was unneeded. Like, you could have just had a nice family reunion scene. It's like, let's just show some fucking politics in there.
Yeah, a nice little fluffy scene, but then it turns into like this massive over the top. And I love how Jean eventually breaks up. It's like, turkey's ready. It's like, thanks, John. Thank you so much. It's like the tension was killing me. It was just like, it was great. Just having Jean there, but yeah, it was weird. And even Jean contradicts himself in this scene because, like, he says, "Oh yeah, forced. Like, if I read someone's mind without their consent, that's like a form of violence." It's like, I'm pretty sure he's done that before, probably more than once. So that was ridiculous. And then we had like Manchester Black in this episode, who was one of our favorite things in episode 5. He is still good in this. Like, he's like torturing this guy for information on Fiona, which is fine. I do quite like Manchester Black. I'm not gonna lie.
Yeah, I really like him.
He's cool. He's an interesting character for the show, and I like the fact again that he's not really a straight up villain. He's more just like an anti-hero sort of thing.
Yeah.
I like that, and I like the fact that he's connected to Jean's story, because Jean's story I've been very disappointed with. So to pair him up with Manchester Black kind of is trying to repair the damage that was done. Because I don't like Jean, not Jean, but I don't like his story this season. I think it's really weak and just completely counterproductive to everything they've done. Because obviously, like, after he left the DEO, we were all just kind of like, well, what's he going to do?
Yeah, like, what purpose does he have? And it's just like, they've not really found anything to really do with him.
Yeah, and it's a shame. David Harewood's like such a good actor, and now he's been completely wasted, just like Mecca Brooks. Even James is getting more story than Jean this season.
Which we never thought would happen. We never thought this would ever happen.
Yeah, I never thought that sentence would come out of my mouth. So that's quite a revelation. But is there anything else this episode? Supergirl's mum returned in this. That was good, I guess. So always nice to see Helen Slater. And then like, again, we had like another weird Brainy and Naya thing, where he brings flowers or she brings flowers. I don't remember which way around it was. But yeah, so they're still trying to push this weird relationship that I don't know where they're going with that. Like, it's so weird because it seems like they meet up like every episode, but it never goes anywhere. Like, they just kind of like stand around and look at each other awkwardly for a bit, say a couple of lines, and then that's it. Never really goes anywhere. So I don't know what to do with that. At least, I mean, I guess they just really want to put off the idea of Kara and Brainy, like it is in the comics. But
yeah, like I said, they just don't want to trigger them one elf like Kara fans. That's why they're doing it.
I guarantee you, if like that fan base wasn't as passionate as it was, we would probably be seeing Kara and Brainy this season, or at least next season.
Yeah,
if Brainy sticks around, because it's like they like to stick to the comics for a lot of these things, and I think Supergirl's just like, nah, can't do that. No, she doesn't want to date her. Yeah, well, that's Supergirl. That's her own fault, really, because Kara, she always goes on about we all have to be fair, but she doesn't want to date an android. So she's kind of a victim of her own enemy, really. Think about that one, writers. So yeah, this episode was a bit of a mixed bag. I think it was fairly enjoyable on the whole, and then the dragon kind of ruins it.
Yeah, it's like you get to I'd say the last third of the episode, that's where it really fell apart for me. Like the dragon bit, I felt Lena was just a little bit weird at times. Once again, Katie McGrath. What the fuck is that accent? Why? Why? We have had you for almost 2 years, however many months. Season 2, your accent was fine. We get into season 3 and 4. I don't know what drugs you've been taking over the course of these 3 seasons, but clearly you cannot maintain that American accent. What are you doing?
Yeah, she's working with like the Hironell again, which we haven't seen in a while, so that was back.
Yeah,
which I guess was fine. But yeah, I still don't understand what the point of. I still don't really understand what the Hironell is.
Yeah,
like it was in last season, but because it was like, was it like a rock from Argo City? Like, I don't actually know what. I
actually don't remember this because it's probably so late on in season 3 to the point where me and you just stopped caring. we were just like, can this be over?
Yeah, we were just watching it for jokes at that point, especially when it got to episode 19. Like, that episode was just a joke. As was episode 21.
The gun control episode.
Episode 21. By episode 21, I was like, the season is just a joke.
Oh my god.
And it still turned out somehow to be the best season of Supergirl. Anyway, all that being said, let's move on to Legends of Tomorrow, season 4, episode 5. What was this episode called again?
I actually can't remember.
I haven't actually made... Oh, Tagumo Attacks, that's what it was called.
The Tagumo Attacks.
I haven't actually got any notes. I haven't even got my notepad on me. I'm just like completely freewheeling this today.
Damn.
So yeah, Tagumo Attacks. This was another good episode. This was an improvement once again. I have to say up top, Mick was absolutely hilarious in this.
Mick was like the MVP of the episode.
Yeah, just his jokes about porn were really funny. I thought that was really funny. Like, it's just the way Zari walks in and he was like, "I was watching porn." It was like that thing
on your typewriter.
Yeah, it was like that. It was like that thing from Spider-Man: Homecoming when like that teacher walks in on Jacob, like hacking the thing. It's like, "I was watching porn." Like, it was like that. And then like Sarah calls into the fridge and she's like, "Oh yeah, we all have our hobbies, don't we, Rory? I take my porn very seriously." Like, great line. Legends taking full advantage of that 9 p.m. time slot. But yeah, I just thought Mick was hilarious. And everything else in this episode, like when he shows up on that Japanese film set and he goes up to that crew guy and he's like, "Coffee now." I thought that was great. And then like even at the end, like, because you have this whole MacGuffin in this episode of this magical book that whatever you write in it becomes a real thing, and he writes himself like this magical woman who saves the day and then who he then has sex with. And then he comes out of the movie set after having sex with this girl and goes, "Oh, it's a bit messy in there."
Mick's just the best. I love him.
I love him so much. He's so funny. But yeah, I actually quite like that idea though that they brought in, where because they have this massive like octopus squid thing called Tagumo, which attacks Tokyo, and they think that's the fugitive, and then Charlie's like, "No, I've never even heard of that. I don't even know what that is. That's just an innocent thing." Turns out it's the book that the guy was writing in, and I thought that was kind of interesting.
Yeah, and they link it into the whole, like Hiroshima and Nagasaki bombings at the end of World War II, like, and all that kind of stuff. That was like, I didn't expect them to take it in that direction, but like they did, and I thought it worked really well because it was like kind of like subverted what you thought was going to happen. Because I just thought it was going to be like, it's like somehow been created, by what the Legends did, but instead, you find out it's a book, and the monster is just an amalgamation of what the film director like created. Like, I thought that was really cool. Like, definitely like goes against what we thought, what was going to happen.
Yeah, and as far as like CGI on Tagumo goes, I actually thought it was pretty great. Like, as far as Legend CGI and like, Arrowverse CGI goes, I was like, yeah, that's actually quite good.
Yeah, because I mean, it's a pretty big creature. Like, it's even bigger than Malice, so it's like, I imagine that probably ate away a lot of the budget. So probably gonna have like 2 or 3 episodes where it's like the CGI is just really iffy, or we just don't get any of it.
I mean, it was pretty convenient that Constantine didn't use his powers at all. That this episode he was out of commission.
Yeah.
But actually, that brings me on to like my next point is Constantine. His stuff with like Nora, I thought was really good because Nora comes into this episode. Obviously, we know she's a series regular this season. I quite enjoyed like their dialogue because Constantine is actually probably one of the most down to earth legends. Thinking about it,
yeah,
and the way he's like, Nora doesn't want to use the magic at first because it will maybe tempt her down a darker path like it did in season 3. And then Constantine's like, if you're going to do this, don't do it for me. Don't do it for Ray. Do it for you. I thought that was a great line.
Yeah, that was really good because I mean, it's obviously you got two people who are very like proficient with magic, like having this conversation with each other, like because she's really inexperienced with it, and then you have Constantine, who's probably the most experienced person with magic and all this kind of stuff. And now that was really cool because that was something that I never really thought of, like a dynamic I never thought they'd do in this episode, because I just full on assumed that Constantine was going to be like unconscious the entire time. That's what I thought, at least.
Yeah. And then, but they do fix him. Nora does eventually choose the magic path, as we thought she would. I mean, obviously she's going to return later this season anyway, as a regular, but she comes up and, we do get him fixed. And as soon as he's fixed, what does he do? He has a fag. Of course he does. He's Constantine.
Typical Constantine.
Yeah. But that was all good. I mean, that was a very small part of the episode, but I did enjoy it, and I like seeing Nora again. Yeah.
The one thing is, as well, they actually did, when he was... What was it? What I think it was during one of the scenes where the two of them were talking to each other. You get a brief glimpse of that guy again that you saw. I think it was, what was it, in episode 3?
Yeah.
Just for the few guys who didn't know, that's actually a character from Constantine season 1.
Yeah.
They were meant to make him the big bad in season 2, but obviously never happened.
Yeah.
So I think he definitely has to be the big bad. He's got to be in terms of what they're hinting towards. I mean, the fact we've seen him twice now, and I definitely think that's what they're aiming towards. But no, I thought I'd just point that out because it is interesting that we've had that now for 2 weeks now. We've slowly been teasing him, so I think he's got to make an appearance. I'd say by the mid-season finale.
That's actually pretty sweet. The fact that not only can they use Constantine, but they can actually use stuff from his own series and bring it over. The fact they're going to be able to fulfill this promise that was made that never happened. And continue that on Legends, bringing this villain. That's really quite awesome. But I liked all that stuff. Also, to go back to the whole Tagumo storyline, I think all the stuff, the final fight where they kind of film it in an old school Japanese monster movie style, I thought was really unique and really creative. And
that was cool.
Not only was it a throwback and a payoff to that whole thing, but the fact it actually worked really well and looked good, I thought was really awesome. And I like that fight. And obviously it does lead into that excellent scene with Mick afterwards. But I just loved that idea, the fact that he was able to do that and the way it was filmed. It kept cutting to black and white, which was cool.
Yeah.
Creative little fight for Legends. And especially because it was much better than the first Tagumo fight with Sarah, because that had some horrific wire work.
Yeah, the wire work was pretty obvious in that one.
Yeah, there's one specific shot where Sarah goes flying and it's really obvious. But other than that, that was cool. And I like the fact she did use the shrink ray, bringing that back from last season. That was quite cool. And then I have to say, my final thing about the Tagumo thing is, I have to say I'm not a massive fan of Charlie's character.
Yeah, I'm finding her quite annoying, to be honest.
Yeah,
as a character.
And to be honest, it's not even that she's annoying, which she is, but the fact that this character just feels so forced to me.
It feels like she's only there to create tension between them, because of the fact that we don't like you, you're annoying, you've got the face of our friend. It's it almost feels as if they wrote off Amaya's character, but then the Legends, either the cast or the writers were just we don't want to get rid of Maisie Richards and Sellers, so we'll just cast her as another character.
Yeah,
it's almost like they saw what Arrow did with and it's we can do this with with her, but the problem is that it doesn't work. It feels forced. It doesn't feel like something that feels natural or felt right. This is just, it doesn't feel like any of those two things.
Yeah, that's what I was going to say, because it's to me, it feels we got rid of Maisie Richardson, we got rid of Amaya at the end of season 3, which made sense. Her arc ended. It was fine to leave her, but then they were just but they didn't want to get rid of Amaya. They had to get rid of Amaya, but they didn't want to. So they were how can we keep this character on? Oh, well, we'll make a new character, and then we'll just keep Maisie on. And then I was all right with that idea, but now seeing how they're doing it, because what's actually annoys me more, which is funny because really this shouldn't be a negative, but it comes across as one to me, is that they've made her so drastically different to Amaya, personality-wise, that it feels forced in that way. She's oh no, this isn't the same character, this isn't Amaya, look how different she is, look how crazy and wacky she is, and it's that comes across as worse to me. So I'm not really a fan of that. And then, like you say, in the Black Siren comparison, luckily for the Arrow writers, after they killed off Laurel and then regretted it, luckily for them, they had the Flash to thank for that, because they did not have plans to bring back, to bring in Earth 2 Laurel. It's just they saw they had Earth 2 Laurel to use. They are lucky the Flash did that. Otherwise, they would have been a bit screwed, and maybe we would have actually seen Earth 1 Laurel come back from the dead. So yeah, it feels really forced to me. I'm not a big fan of Charlie. Hopefully she can improve. I do like her dynamic with Mick, but
but that's about it for me personally. Like, the rest of them, I'm not. The rest of the characters, I don't think she has that great of a dynamic with, or at least a dynamic that I find interesting to watch.
Yeah, because her and Sarah don't really have a dynamic necessarily, and then her and Zari are basically
just
set up to hate each other. Yeah, and it's just obviously that'll be one of those things that will sort of grow and develop, and by the end of the season they'll probably be fine. But yeah, I'm not a big fan of Charlie, and in this episode it really proved to me how forced this character is. So yeah, I'm not a fan. I think it would have been a lot smarter if they would have, because what annoys me about Legends now a little bit is that this team, when this show first started, this team was about basically underused characters from the Arrowverse, pre-existing characters.
Yeah.
We don't get any pre-existing characters anymore. We got Wally last season, and then he went. And I know I'm just saying this because secretly deep down I really want Ragman, right?
Oh my,
but this
get
team,
over it.
Yeah, but this
get over Ragman.
This team is meant to be full of pre-existing characters who don't get screen time. So why are we stuck with new characters? I mean, as much as I like Zari, right? I would have much rather taken a pre-existing character. I think Curtis would be a perfect addition to this team. I think Curtis would be great. Even though I think they finally found a good place for Curtis in Arrow this season, I still think he'd be better suited to Legends. And people like that, I just feel like it's a really bad idea. And it feels like Legends is just evolved into something that it's not. And that kind of, it makes me sad. Anyway, there was another storyline this season with Nate and his father at Thanksgiving. This scene was completely pointless, but I really loved it.
It was pointless, but I enjoyed it that much just because it's Biff Tannen. It's Biff Tannen.
He's genuinely my favourite character this season. I love him so much. Just seeing Biff in Legends of Tomorrow is just a pure joy. Seeing him with that turkey apron on, gotta love that. And even I like the fact that Ava, even though Ava was a bit weird in this episode, I do like them. There's a really good line when she's when she's stalling for Nate, and she's oh yeah, let's say what we're thankful for. And then Nate's grandmother says, "I'm thankful I'm still breathing." That was a really good line. But yeah, just I love Tom Wilson. I just need him so much. And what I love is obviously at the end of the episode, you see that he's kind of got something going on. There's this Project Hades that he's going on about. We don't know what that is, but it's to do with these magical creatures that they captured at the Time Bureau. So, yeah, it seems like maybe he might be an antagonist, which I'm perfectly happy with, because, again, this is Biff.
Yeah, they're completely fine with me.
Yeah, and there was also a Back to the Future 2 reference in this episode, which I enjoyed. So, yeah, there's a lot of good stuff in this scene. Even though it's completely pointless, doesn't have anything to do with the story whatsoever, it was still fun just to see, the Haywood Thanksgiving dinner. I enjoyed that. And then we had other stuff as well. We did have the other story in the Time Bureau to do with Gary and the new character of Mona, who weirdly again returns. I'm still iffy on her.
Yeah, I'm not sure.
I don't know. She's not quite mixing with me just yet. I guess we have to wait and see what she's going to be like once she actually joins the Legends, because she's a regular.
Yeah.
But yeah, at the moment, she's basically an expert on magical creatures. It seems that's what she does, because she knows how to calm all these people down. Because basically you have all this situation where all of these creatures who they've captured have just gone mental and get loose, and then she's like, "Oh yeah, this is how you sort them out. This is how you tame them," and then they do that, and then that leads into, Hank, who's like, "Oh yeah, they can be controlled. I've seen it. Commence Project Hades." What do you think Project Hades is?
I legitimately do not have a clue.
I wonder if it's really form a super team of magical beings.
A super team of magical beings.
Like a Suicide Squad of magical beings, where he's the Amanda Waller. That'd be
Maybe
cool.
it's just gonna be legends like taking shots at the actual Suicide Squad film, being like, "Look at us, we managed to do. Look what we did with Animal, and it's better than your fucking film."
What are we, some kind of magic squad? That'd be amazing. No, that's the thing that they couldn't even really do a meta joke like that because they've already done the Suicide Squad in Arrow, that like was really good, and then they had to get rid of it for the crap film. I'm still salty about that.
I remember when you said you enjoyed that film.
I think there are enjoyable moments in it, like, but it's not good film. And like, if I had to choose between that or the Arrow version, the Arrow version that was actually a good representation of the Suicide Squad, then obviously I'd go for the Arrow version. Because the Arrow version was really dark and it was fun.
But it doesn't have Slipknot.
That is very true. Slipknot is the unsung hero of the DCU.
Mate, I'm waiting for Justice League 2. He's going to be the main antagonist.
I'm waiting for a standalone film. Where's that at? David Ayer's not busy. Get him to do it. He's not. Gotham City Sirens is gone. Just do that. Here come, the tagline's just like, the man can climb anything. The movie just writes itself. I can do the poster for you, no problem. Anyway, back to DCTV. I think that all this stuff in the Time Bureau, I think it's just kind of like setting up Mona. Like, I think what they're doing is they're trying to sink her in slowly, so that we can kind of get a taste for her. But yeah, I'm still not 100% convinced yet. But for me, this episode, even though I've been a bit down on Legends this season overall, I've really enjoyed the last two episodes. So it's getting better for me. So, although I have to admit, I think next week's episode looks kind of crap. But
I've not actually seen the promo for next week's episode.
It just looks completely random and pointless.
Nah, I reckon you'll turn around and say you love it.
Well, I hope I do, but I'm just saying, based on the promo, I'm not excited about it.
Don't base all your anticipation off one promo.
Well, that is true, but still. This episode was good, though. This one, I enjoyed it.
It was good, but I don't think it was as good as the episode before or the premiere. But
the premiere is still my favorite episode.
Premiere is just the GOAT. You can't beat killer unicorns,
and bronies.
You cannot beat them. Exactly.
Yeah, I did enjoy that. I'm still just waiting for the episode with the puppet Martin Stein. That's just like, I'm genuinely so excited about that.
I think that could be maybe episode 7. That's what I'm thinking.
Oh, hang on. Yeah, we're on episode 6, aren't we?
Yeah.
Yeah. Okay. Well, in that case, bring it on. I need some Martin Stein puppets in my life. I want to buy. I hope they sell that at Heroes and Villains next year. I want actually. And then if Victor Garber goes, then we can do that. Because Victor Garber, he does go to Heroes and Villains. He didn't go to last year, but he does go.
Yeah, he does go to them.
Did he go to 2017?
No, he didn't actually. No,
it's weird that he doesn't go to the London one, given the fact he's from the UK.
Yeah. I mean, no, he isn't. He's Canadian.
Ah, for some reason, I always think he's British. For some reason.
Why?
I don't know. It just kind of, I always do. He's not even
you
British.
No. You probably saw him on Titanic and guy's British.
Yeah, but even like his accent on Legends, I always found a bit weird. Anyway, different story. So we'll move over to the Flash. Flash season 5, episode 6, The Icicle Cometh. I genuinely think this could be my favorite episode of the season. Maybe. Episode 1 still putting up a fight, but I think this is up there. I enjoyed this one a lot.
I still think episode 1 is the best, simply because of the fact that I can't name a problem with that episode apart from the suit.
But yeah, the suit. Although
the suit.
There's some new pictures that have come out today from filming of the mid-season finale, and they fixed the cowls different now.
I don't care. I want the chin strap.
I will show you these though, because they do look cool.
The fucking chin strap. That's all I need. Why is it so difficult?
I'll let you go first while I get these images and I'll send them to you.
All right. Yeah. I enjoyed this episode. Probably my second favorite of the season so far. Like, I think the biggest thing that I liked about it was Caitlin's side of it. I love what they did with Caitlin in this episode and with her father. I think that was by far the strongest part of it. Because just the way that they set it up, with her getting to see her father, and then we get to see them interact with one another, and then we find out that obviously he has these, these powers, you know, that whenever he feels like these, you know, sudden surges of emotion, you know, it triggers his powers. We found out that he has, what was it, ALS?
ALS, yeah.
And he was treating on himself to find a cure, which, you know, obviously he did on Caitlin when she was younger, which is what created the Killer Frost within her. But that stuff was really good. But then obviously you have the twist at the end of the episode where you find out that that actually he was, you know, the icicle was trying to. It was the two sides of him were battling each other, and then when you got to see him really turn into his like dark persona, and that whole it all culminated really in that final scene where you had all of them going after him. He was able to, you know, change the atmosphere to make it cold, and then like, oh, I just loved it. I loved pretty much everything they did with Caitlin. And the thing that I loved the most was how they explained what happened to Killer Frost, because I was waiting for that for ages. So I was like, how are they going to explain how Killer Frost comes back? Because obviously we found out in this episode that it wasn't actually what was his name, the folding man. I think it was, yeah. We thought originally that it was him who like took away her powers. Melting pot. Sorry, I get these confused.
Is it melting point or is it melting pot? I get confused.
I don't know. Season 4 is a blur to me. This is why I get anything. But like we all thought, you know, that he was the person who took away, like his powers were what took away Killer Frost. We found out it was actually
Brainstorm,
and that he put a mental lock on it, which I thought was so genius because it was something that pretty much none of us thought of, but made sense. And it was so good. And obviously, I just loved everything they did with Caitlin. Like, I'm really liking Caitlin this season. This is probably my favorite version of her. Like, by far my favorite story we've had of her since she's come on. Easy. Like, I just loved everything they did with her in this episode.
Yeah, I thought it was all great. Like, I really enjoyed, like, just actually giving Caitlin a story, because I'm a huge fan of Caitlin as a character. I love Caitlin. I always have done, like, from day one. And I love Danielle, and I think like just seeing her actually getting a story was really awesome. And the fact that it was actually well done and investing, I was very happy with. And also bringing in Kyle Secor as Thomas Snow, I thought he was great.
Yeah, he was good addition. Really, really good actor.
Yeah, he was great, and like the fact that by the end it seems like he might return, potentially as a bigger villain in the end, by the back half, I think is exciting.
I really hope he comes back, and I hope he plays a bigger role, because it'd just be awesome to have that dynamic between him and Caitlin. Like,
there is the rumor that maybe Cicada after the mid-season finale is going to go away, and then the back half is going to be this new team of rogues with Icicle leading them. Which I'm still a bit weird on that idea, because I don't want Cicada to be overshadowed, but you know I'm excited to see him return, because I think he was great, and like his because you know it's like Killer Frost's like #1 nemesis basically, you know, it's like her opposite, so I think that's really cool. And seeing Killer Frost again, like new wig, she looks great.
Yeah, the wig looks really good.
Yeah, it's easily the best wig she's had, and like I think she looks really cool, and I liked having Killer Frost back, because again we were all wondering how it was going to happen, so seeing it come back was awesome. And also like I like the fact that, you know, all of Team Flash basically come out for this. Like Nora's there, Barry's there, Cisco's there, Ralph's there, but they literally none of them can survive in this. They all
get absolutely wrecked.
Yeah, like they just can't. They walk in, they can't even move. Like Icicle doesn't even do anything. Like they just can't do anything. And I think that was great. And you know, Caitlin was the only one who can kind of survive in this environment. I thought that was cool. So I think there was a lot of good stuff to do with that storyline, and I enjoyed all that. And then there was other storylines going on as well. Like there was the Iris, Nora and Sherlock stuff, which I have to say Sherlock once again is great in this. He's really funny.
Yeah,
back to like really a traffic jam is the quote that stuck with me in this episode.
Oh.
And then obviously this kind of built Nora and Iris's relationship, but this scene kind of just goes, it's kind of going somewhere, then it doesn't go anywhere, and then like at the end it's like, oh, we found it.
Oh yeah,
which was a bit.
That was probably my least favorite story of the episode, was seeing that, because like I mean, the thing is, I really like Sherlock Wells, and like Sherlock Wells, and what they're doing with him. Like he's really grown on me. Sherlock, sorry. Yeah, I really am starting to like him a lot now. Compared to, I mean, I was kind of same as you. We were a bit iffy on him at first, but he's really grown on me now. But I think the storyline with him, you know, Iris and Nora, was probably my least favorite part, just because compared to all the other stuff, you know, you had obviously the Caitlin storyline for the emotional stuff, and then you had Ralph and Cecile for the comedy, that storyline just kind of felt like a secondary comedy one, but it just didn't work as well for me.
Yeah, it was kind of like the weakest part. It was just kind of like they had to show that Nora and Iris were getting along.
Yeah.
And this was how they did it, so sure, whatever. I think it will come into play a bit more next week with Cicada.
Yeah.
Because next week is our big Cicada episode, so we're going to get his backstory. So
finally.
Cool.
Yeah, also a word on Cicada, like, you know, I've only just realised this now, but when Cicada is speaking, it almost sounds like he's trying to do a Freddy Krueger impression from A Nightmare on Elm Street, or like Rorschach from Watchmen. That's what it's like. Chris Klein's just there and he's acting, and he's just like, I can't do it. Oh my god! It's like, I don't know if he sounds like.
Cicada was cool in this episode, I think.
Yeah, Cicada was cool in this episode, but his voice just makes me laugh because if you've seen anybody who's watching this who's seen the 10, I can't remember the actor who plays Freddy Krueger in that film. I think it's Jackie or Haley. If you get the two voices side by side, they're literally interchangeable. So whenever I heard him speak in this episode, even though his dialogue was very good, it just made me laugh.
I think though, like Cicada, the way he opened this episode with that
was
fight
really
was
cool.
Sick.
Yeah,
like that was a really cool, like grounded hand-to-hand combat fight. And it's a shame that Meta died because I think she was really cool.
That was a really cool meta, and it's just like, oh, she's dead.
I know we always get like some really bad metas sometimes, but like that one, like is not even one that was highlighted. It's probably one of the best ones I've ever seen. Like she was awesome. I'd like to see more of that, but just the fight with her and Cicada was cool. And then Cicada like going into the hospital. So like, I'm quite interested by this doctor, to be honest. Like, does she know who like we find out his name's Orlan Dwyer. So like, does she know Orlan?
Yeah.
What's going on? Where's the connection? How did they meet? I guess we'll find this all out next week.
I want to know how the fuck he got the name of Orlan. Because I mean, we heard his first name before. This is a weird first name, and it's like we get it confirmed in this episode. I'm like, still don't make sense.
Yeah. But it seems like, you know, she's like looking after his daughter as well, and that does kind of connect in with the Iris storyline. Like she's like, oh yeah, we found out that his daughter was the one who was crushed by the core, and then oh yeah, well we know his daughter, then we know who Cicada is. Bye. But yeah, and then the other storyline we had going on was Ralph and Cecile.
Oh, I love this one.
Do you?
Yeah, I like this storyline.
Oh really?
Yeah.
I'm shocked. I thought you were gonna hate this.
No. Why would I hate this? I love Ralph.
I know you love Ralph, as do I. I just felt maybe because I liked it for the most part, but my sort of problem with it was they like it's like really obvious to me that this is how they're trying to make Cecile relevant.
Yeah. Because of the fact that, you know,
this was meant to be Joe.
This
was meant to be a Joe story, like
yeah.
Because he like Ralph even goes to the West House looking for Joe. It's just he's out with Jenna. So that's really weird though, because they haven't necessarily written Joe off the show. Like they just said like every time he's going to coincidentally be out. Like that's really weird. So he goes and then like Cecile's like, oh, I can help. I can be intimidating. And I just found like I don't understand why they're making Cecile like so overly comedic.
No, I mean, the thing is, I didn't mind it in this episode because I thought as a pair they worked really well.
I do like them two together.
Yeah, I also just found it really funny because like Hartley Sawyer is like 6'3", and then like Danielle Nicolette is like 5 foot. I mean, we've seen Hartley Sawyer because we saw him at Heroes and Villains, and
I've got a picture with him.
And like I remember when I saw the pictures, like, damn, he is tall.
Yeah, I mean, I pretty much come up to his shoulder, pretty much. Like, because you know, I actually met him at Heroes and Villains. I've got a picture. I stood up next to him. If I can remember to put it, I'll put up the picture now. But like I come up to his shoulder. Danielle Nicolette's like even like half the size of me. So like seeing them two walk next to each other is hilarious. Like it is really funny. So like I do like their pairing. And I remember Hartley Sawyer, because Hartley Sawyer is actually he's really funny. And like I remember like he posted a picture on Instagram of him and Danielle Nicolette clearly when they were filming this episode, and they're stood back to back. And like Danielle's head is literally like smack bang on the middle of his spine, because Hartley Sawyer is quite a tall guy. Because like I say, and even seeing him in real life, like he is pretty big. So yeah, just that, like the imagery of it and the visual of it is funny, and I did like them two together because it was a surprising pairing that I didn't expect. And it did work quite well. It's just I felt the over comedic use of Cecile, and I kind of feel like this was her just kind of being forced into. Basically, the way I'm reading this now is she's being given Joe storylines.
Yeah.
Which I guess is fair enough, but
yeah, I mean, they got to give it to someone, otherwise the episode would just fall apart. So, I mean, yeah, it definitely, you can feel Joe's absence, and you can feel like definitely, she's kind of being given his storylines that were originally meant for him. But I don't really have a problem with it. I didn't have a problem with her being overly comedic in this episode, for me, to be honest, because I felt like they were kind of setting that up with how a character was in season 4 at times. So it didn't feel too out of character for me, and I did enjoy the storyline.
Yeah, I liked it for the most part. It's just like I say, I found Cecile. It's just all the stuff with Cecile was a bit strange for me to get used to. But I did like their dynamic, which was fun. Anything else in this episode you'd like to add? I think that's it.
I mean that's right. Really, I mean, obviously, I really enjoyed it. But yeah, I would still say the premiere is my favorite. Like I said, I think they're pretty much perfect for me personally. Like,
yeah.
It's gonna be pretty hard to top that. I really don't think they're gonna do it unless it's like you get some mad episode for the like mid-season finale or the premiere. I don't know.
Yeah, but like I say, this might be my favorite episode of the season so far. It's like it's between this and one. Like it's between this and one.
No.
I just really enjoyed this, and I don't know if it's for the fact that I really liked all the stuff because it was like such an original Team Flash episode.
That's what I loved about it the most, because I miss that dynamic of just having Barry, Cisco, and Caitlin.
Yeah, and also it might be just the fact as well because I'm such a huge fan of Caitlin and Danielle.
Yeah. You're an absolute fanboy.
I love her. I think she's such a good actress, and I think she's such a good character.
That's why I got a picture of it. Heroes and Villains.
Exactly. Again, if I remember, I'll put the picture up. It's. I'm just gonna put this like, instead of like having the thumbnails in the background, I'm just gonna have like a compilation of images of just me and celebrities. Yeah.
How dare you?
Well, I'll put yours up as well if you like, of you and Kirk and you and Stephen.
My boy Kirk.
Boy Kirk, the absolute legend. Speaking of Kirk, let's go to Arrow. Kirk possibly pulls off the greatest face in the history of the Arrowverse.
We have to get his face of that scene. Let's get a screen cap of this scene, like just here right now, just throughout this entire Arrow segment.
I'm literally making notes on my phone of like stuff to edit in. I never do this much editing on this. This is ridiculous.
We're never usually this prepared.
I know, we're being well creative here. But obviously, well, I don't really want to skip to the end of the episode, but yeah, Kirk's face is amazing. Just the scene with him and Felicity, the way Felicity's trying so hard to be intimidating, he's just sat there, he doesn't care. Like, it's great. He's just sat there staring at her, smiling away, biggest grin on his face. And I love the fact he scares her as well. And he just sits there and just sits back and starts laughing to himself. Oh. Kirk Acevedo, you're a legend, my friend. I love you so much. So this episode had quite a lot of good prison stuff within it.
Yeah. The thing was like the prison stuff really wasn't the major focusing point of the episode. Really, it was really the stuff outside of prison, which I was kind of surprised by. I think it's really the first episode where I felt like that's the case, like where the strongest storyline wasn't the prison one.
Yeah. Which is interesting because normally, the prison stuff is really, really the highlight. And I have to say, I'm really impressed with the writing because I feel like, in order for a show like this, 7 seasons in, to take your main character, put him in in one location for this many episodes, separate from the rest of the cast, and to have it still be interesting is really impressive.
Yeah. I wish the Riverdale writers took a bit of inspiration from this.
Can I just say as well, Riverdale, they even copied it by doing the Fight Club in Riverdale. I mean, I don't even watch this anymore. I've just heard. And, the fact that, Arrow did a prison Fight Club and it was incredible. And I've seen footage from the Riverdale one and it's just like the most cringy thing ever. Do you know what it's like? It's like in Arrow season 1, when they had an unbearable amount of shirtless Stephen Amell. It's like they do that with KJ Apa.
Oh God! But it doesn't matter because we all know you love KJ Apa.
No, I really don't. I really don't like him at all. He's an arsehole. I really don't like him at all. I'm so glad I don't watch that show anymore. So glad I came up. It was funny. I was going through my Blu-ray collection earlier, and I found my Riverdale season 1 DVD. I forgot I had it.
God.
Anyway, back to the good show. I think that all the prison stuff was great. Obviously, we do sort of find out there's this guard that was murdered, and then Stanley is the number 1 victim.
Yeah.
So he gets put in the hole, and Oliver goes
Detective
out.
Oliver.
We get Detective Oliver, basically ripping off Batman as always, and he's going around and he goes into the shower and he finds the shiv that Bronze Tiger uses. So he's like, "Oh, okay, Ben Turner did it, right? Sorted. Let's get Stanley out." Boom. And then this is like how the episode ends. We see Stanley basically drop himself in the shit.
Because he's like, if he says like, "Oh, if you didn't find Ben Turner's blade, I would have stayed in there." And then obviously, we're like, "Well, how did you know?" Because obviously he was in the hole. And then this is basically what sets Oliver off. And what I really liked is this. We'll get onto this later, but there's a scene that he has with Laurel beforehand that basically foreshadows this event, like what Stanley's going to say. Like, I'll get to it when we say to it, but it was like the scene itself was awesome. It's just like the stare that Stephen Amell gives to him.
Yeah, to Stanley. Yeah.
If he did that to me, I would straight up just confess, look, bro, I did it. Please don't kill me.
I just like run. There is something going on with Stanley.
Yeah, definitely. I think he's either working for Diaz or he's working for the Ninth Circle.
Yeah, it's funny because like I always said I never really wanted Stanley to be like a bad character. Just I love his innocence, like because he plays it really well. He is really convincing. Given the fact that this is the #1 star of Uwe Boll, he's actually a pretty good actor.
Yeah, that's what I was thinking. Like, how could the guy this good be in so many Uwe Boll films? You should ask him this on Twitter because he follows you. Just ask him on Twitter.
Okay, let's not get started on Uwe Boll again. We have enough conversations in our day-to-day lives.
I've actually come up with a theory. If it turns out that he is going to be, the villainous character, what if they reveal that he's actually Ben Williamson, the protagonist of the Rampage films, and he's locked up in prison?
The Uwe Boll cinematic universe. And then we can get Blubberella in. Oh my god, what a dream! And then you find out that Mick is actually the character from Suddenly. We can have Ray Liotta.
And then Ray Liotta shows up.
We can have a couple of white old boys just making a show together.
Oh god! And then our boy Mason's just like a couple of wild boys hanging out in prison.
See, what's funny is we've done this twice now, where we go on like these little Uwe Boll like imagination spritz, and then everybody listening to this doesn't have a clue what we're on about. Like it's just great. This is me and Dan's this is our little thing. So anyway, Stanley, he dropped himself in it. Obviously, I reckon that's going to come to a head next episode. Which, can I just say, next episode looks insane.
Yeah, it looks amazing. Looks mental. The promo's just like
the promo's insane.
Yeah, the thing was when they said like, "Oh, it's going to be called the Slabside Redemption," I thought it was going to be a nice little slow-paced episode. Then fucking James Bamford's directing it. The promo's full of explosions. I'm just like, this is not what I thought it was going to be.
Oliver's doing parkour all over the place.
Oh, I reckon the next week's episode, because there's already people who've seen it. There's already people who've been posting first impressions. I think this could be one of the best episodes of Arrow.
Well, that's what people are saying.
My body is ready for that episode. Just saying.
And also, I believe this should be the episode where we get a naked Oliver, naked Diaz fight.
Which,
remember that?
That's the one thing I'm like, why?
Yeah, I'm like, where's the context? Yeah, I can't wait to because Kirk Acevedo was like, oh yeah, I had a butt naked fight with Stephen Amell in prison. So like, I want to know the context here. Maybe this is like Oliver getting like exact revenge on Diaz. When Oliver was butt naked in the shower and he got attacked by Diaz's thugs, he's just repaying the favor. Who knows? But anyway, we'll get to it. We'll cross that bridge when we get to it. But yeah, all the prison stuff was really cool. Stanley is set himself up, and I reckon we'll find out next episode what's going on there.
I think he's dead next episode as well.
Probably, yeah. Especially, I mean, if he was actually a good character, I would have. And when I say good, I mean like morally good. I would have liked to have seen him outside of prison, but if he's evil, then yeah, he's not going to live.
Yeah, fuck him.
Yeah, Oliver will probably kill him. So yeah, and then we did have other stuff going on. I think the episode scene with because we have like all of our characters together in one room for like the first time this season in like ages, and I think this scene was really funny. Like I found it really funny. Like I was like laughing out loud at this scene because it's just the way they're all like playing off of each other and like finding out how they all work for each other. It's like, the way Laurel's like, oh, I'm here, you can say my name and things like that. They're all like, oh, you're working with the Black freaking Siren. And it's like, yep, still here. Yeah, like that was good. And then everyone's like, Renee, wait, you're working with the new Green Arrow? What? And then it's just like, and like, you have like everyone else just the way they're finding out about what they've all been getting up to. And then the absolute golden line comes from Curtis when he says, oh, well, maybe we should all just pick up a phone and text each other. And yes, I am bringing this up because it was my birthday last week and all of you forgot. And then even Felicity, who, I haven't seen Felicity be this funny in a long time, says, your party's next week, act surprised. Great scene. It was so well written. So funny. And the way they all play off each other is great. And even like Diggle, who obviously Diggle's typically the straight guy, even just seeing him, it's like, oh yeah, we all need to team up together. Everyone except people who are not from this earth. And like just completely segregating Laurel. It's like, oh, I love that scene. I thought it was so funny.
That was just, it was great. Like, especially like you say, for like the first proper big scene that we've had where the majority, like bar Oliver, like all of our main characters together. Like, that was a way to make an impact. That was so funny.
Yeah, and even like Anatoly, because Anatoly returns in this episode, which I was very happy to see. I love Anatoly.
David Knuckle he's a treasure. I love him.
He's such a little. Oh, I love him. I love Anatoly. I want my own little Anatoly. He's great, and seeing him, like, I like the fact that Diggle kicks Laurel out, and then she's like, "Oh, so the massive like crime boss can stay, but I can't." Like, and like the way like Anatoly's like waves at her. He's great. As Anatoly was absolutely spectacular in this episode, as he always is. David Nichols great. It's kind of a shame though because he kind of leaves at the end of this episode, and I'm not sure if we're going to see him again for a while.
No, we got to see Anatoly again. We got to.
Yeah, especially because he was like working with them in this, and also we do have to mention the opening scene with Diaz and Anatoly was great. The way he has that, like, because we do get to hear the dragon theme once again for the first time this season.
Beautiful theme.
Oh no, it's not the first time this season. It was in the premiere.
It was in the premiere as well. Yeah.
Yeah, but still, anytime we get to hear that theme is just pure gold. And one thing I'm confused by is Diaz says to him, "Are you going to do one last job?" What was that? What was that job?
I think it was to act
the Russian guy.
I reckon it was probably when he says, "What?" Did he say this to Anatoly?
Yeah, he says it to Anatoly. He's like, "You're going to do one last job for me."
I reckon that was probably just him to be in that box so that when everybody came to it, he'd blow everyone up. That's what I think he meant by his last job, as in like you're just going to serve as the bait for everyone. I think that's basically what he meant.
Yeah, but either way, I just loved having Anatoly back in this episode, and also what was great as well, which is one thing I've always wanted to see, or at least hear in Arrow, seeing as we have Anatoly, we do get KG Beast name dropped. So it turns out his nickname in the Bratva is KJ Beast. Brilliant. Love that. Especially because I've always wanted to see KJ Beast on this show, and I always just thought, well, we're never going to get him because Anatoly's like too old, basically, to be KJ Beast. But the fact that we got that name dropped, I was very happy with. I have to say, in that scene where Anatoly is meeting with that Russian guy, also, I know I just keep like rambling on about stuff, but like Diaz like slaughtered all the Bratva.
Yeah, so Bratva is no more.
Yeah, that was like quite surprising. Like, so basically, in order to get back at Anatoly for his betrayal at the end of season 6, he killed the Bratva. That's pretty mental.
Yeah.
But that scene where Anatoly's meeting with a Russian guy, Anatoly's a really bad actor. I'm not talking about David Nichol. I'm talking about Anatoly as a character.
Yeah, it was so obvious.
Yeah, the way he's like, "Oh, let's have a drink," and he's like, "Let's sit down like old friends," and he's like, "Oh, you promised me drink," and my Russian's really bad. I'm sorry. And yeah, he's like, "How about on rocks?" And it's like the way just like it's so obvious. And I don't know if it was meant to be intentional or not. But Anatoly gets thrown around a lot in this episode.
Yeah, I feel bad for Anatoly.
I do.
I mean, Felicity's just like prepared to watch him die just to get this hater. God damn.
Yeah. He deserves better. Anatoly deserves better. Get him a love interest.
Justice for Anatoly.
No. But yeah, I just loved having Anatoly back in this. He was great. And then we had like, new Green Arrow returns in this.
Oh, yeah, and then he has that mini fight scene with Diaz, which was awesome.
that little mini kickflip that they do.
Oh, that
was a great little recovery.
Anybody who's now going to say that it's not a woman, eat your heart out. Only a woman could do that.
It's so obvious as well at this point.
Yeah.
See, the thing is, like, there's no even point speculating it anymore. Like, we know who it is. Like, we know who it is. It's Miko Queen. I wasn't going to say it, but I mean, we've said it before on this podcast, so who cares? It's a Miko Queen. And it's even more obvious by the fact that CW changed the title of episode 10.
Yeah, because they realised they fucked up so bad by calling it My Name.
Yeah, so, yeah, it's a Miko Queen. But I enjoyed seeing the new Green Arrow. I thought they were great. And I like the fact that, after that whole scene goes down, that the news is like, oh yeah, maybe this new Green Arrow is not so bad after all, and maybe we should revoke the anti-vigilante law. And it's like, we're making progress. I wonder if that's going to tie into Oliver's story, like, because I'm still wondering if he's going to become the Green Arrow again after this.
I mean, we know he will do in the crossover because we've seen it, but I like I said, I don't know if I think, like I've already said this last week, I reckon it's a while before we actually see him in the Green Arrow hood. I don't think he's gonna have it straight back on as soon as he gets out.
No, I don't, and I kind of don't want him to. I kind of want them to play it a bit strangely, because we speculated last week. We were talking about how the likelihood, because we thought the Slabside redemption was going to be a prison break. But it seems like because it's more of a prison riot. So I don't know how Arrow is so difficult to predict this season. Like, it's ridiculous.
Which I like. I like the fact that
I like that. Yeah, it just makes this job a lot more difficult. But yeah, I don't know what they can do with Oliver, but I think the whole new Green Arrow stuff was really cool, and just seeing them, I like the way they fight. I think it's really interesting, and I just can't wait to find out, who it is. Even though, again, we know who it is, but once actually seeing it and then seeing where they come from, what their backstory is, especially because John Barrowman did actually confirm that Malcolm Merlyn's coming back this season in some shape or form. So rumor has it that Malcolm Merlyn trained this new Green Arrow. That's the theory. So we might be getting flashbacks to Malcolm, which I'd like. Also, can I just say John Barrowman is absolutely crushing it on I'm Celebrity this year.
Oh, he is. He's the best by far.
Easily. His trial last night was great. Yeah, John Barrowman is just absolute legend. So yeah, we had all that stuff with the new Green Arrow. Renee returns in this episode.
Oh, nice. that scene where he shouts "Bomb!"
I mean, that was really funny in the promo, and I love the fact that it's the exact same take that they used in the episode as well. But I did like the scene as well when he this was in the sneak peek they released before, but when he meets up with Felicity and Laurel, he's like, "Oh, so are you two friends now?" Like, good line. Again, I'm so impressed with Renee this season. What they're doing with him, he's great.
They've redeemed Renee.
He's basically the Ralph of Arrow. Ralph they've really redeemed in season 5, and they've done the same thing with Renee. Really happy with that.
What about Laurel?
Missed. I was about to say. So Laurel.
You've got to mention my favorite character,
and one of my favorites, Laurel. I'm loving Laurel this season. So she is putting together a case. I thought this was going to be I thought this is what the main story was going to be, but this court scene was one scene. Yeah,
they really threw a curveball with this, thinking it was a whole episode.
Yeah,
just the one scene.
Yeah, so we had Laurel, who's trying to plea Oliver's case, but it gets pretty much dismissed immediately. I mean, the judge is like, "Oh yeah, we're looking into Slabside. That's all fine, but Oliver is not getting out of prison. He's just not getting out of prison. So just don't worry about it."
Yeah, and she has that speech about how it's harder to be the hero, and stand up for what's right than it is to be the villain.
Yeah, which is good.
Oh, which is a really good line. But then she's immediately going to disregard all that when she goes to kill the judge.
Yeah. Although I will say, I think Dinah had a good moment there.
Yeah, Dinah had a good moment. Yeah, well, that was good to see.
Because Dinah's one of the weak characters this season. So
yeah, definitely. Also, I'm just going to sidetrack off here a little bit with Dinah. Where has her fighting ability gone? Because it just feels as if this season she's been so useless in fights. This is no offense against Julianne Harkavy. I just feel like Dinah Drake, they've just, I don't know whether it's the fight choreography for her or whatever. She just doesn't seem as skilled. She gets beasted by Silencer so many times. It's not even funny anymore.
I literally thought she was going to get her neck sliced.
Yeah.
In this, when Kodiak throws the shield, I was like, did that touch her neck? Because I'm waiting for this now. I'm keeping my eyes peeled for this now. When does it happen? When does she lose her canary cry?
Yeah.
I really thought it was going to happen. Also, can I just say, what is going on with the Longbow Hunters this season? I'm so confused.
Because Like, yeah, because like Diaz gets captured, and then immediately like the Longbow Hunters run off. They do one on him, but I'm kind of now sitting here thinking, is that the last time we're going to see him? Like, because if it is, I'm very disappointed.
Very underwhelmed.
To be perfect. Like, because like apart from like the silencer, but that's only really because of her gadget. Like Red Dot and Kodiak, they've just been so like just non-existent. I mean, the actors, they're tweeting about how we're so proud about the roles. I feel sorry for them because they've really not done anything with them. Like, remember back at like the end of season 6, like, this is a group of like assassins so well trained that even the League is afraid of them.
Yeah.
The League would fuck these people up easy.
That's what I've always said. Like when I seen the Longbow Hunters in this, I was like, how are these guys the most mythical assassins in the world? Like, I'm not having that Ra's al Ghul is scared of this guy. Like, Ra's al Ghul would absolutely destroy these guys. Like, I'm sorry, they would. Like, Red Dart is basically just a long-range fighter. Kodiak is just a big idiot. And then you've got Silencer, who, granted, Silencer is probably the most skilled, it seems like. She's very cool. I do like Silencer, probably, Silencer's my favourite. And she's had the most to do. But again, like you say, it's only down to her gadget and her being able to create some cool fights, because she hasn't really had much dialogue.
No.
So, she's not really much of a character. She's more just like a cool, like, feature. So yeah, the Longbow Hunters are really confusing to me. Like, I completely forgot about them, to be honest. And then when they show up in this episode, I was like, oh yeah, these guys. And then they're gone again, because Diaz gets captured. I have to say, though, I am shocked that they captured Diaz. I was like, that kind of came out of nowhere, but I thought it was good, though. Especially given where they take that next episode is going to be fun.
Yeah. Also, just getting back to Laurel, I love the scenes between her and Oliver.
Mm-hmm.
Like, the first one where Oliver just, like, tries to roast her really badly, which I'm not going to lie. I felt like he went a little bit too... Yeah, I felt bad for her at that point, because I think he went in a little bit too hard, but then she gets one up on him on the scene after, when she's just like... Oh, she just completely rips into him, like... And this is the part where I said earlier that it kind of foreshadowed, Stanley's, basically lying to Oliver, because she says the line, people have good and bad in them, and you can't put them into one box or the other. And she says that in the very next scene with Oliver is the one where Stanley tells him, like, that he, about Ben Turner's blade. Yeah. But just that scene in general was really good. And just, I want to see more scenes like that between these two, because it's just really cool to see, because obviously, Oliver has this perception of Laurel as his Laurel from Earth 1, and just getting to see the two of them like talk to one another. Because it was one of the biggest problems I had with season 6, was that although I really liked Black Siren, it felt like they were just so like very, very nifty on having her interact with any character that wasn't Quentin, or like they just didn't want to with any of the originals. Yeah, it's like in season 6 she barely interacted with like original Team Arrow, like Felicity, Diggle, and Oliver, when in reality, when you've seen them this season, they're probably the characters that she's probably had some of the most like interesting interactions with, because they're people who know Earth 1 counterpart the best. Yeah. So it never made sense to me why in season 6 they didn't bother having her interact with them. But now that they're doing it, like, you see it's working, like, you're getting these really good moments with it. So as long as they keep this up, I'm happy with it, because I'd say at the moment, Black Siren is my favourite character, easily.
I have to admit, I'm getting kind of sick of the whole, like, the way characters are treating Laurel.
Yeah, because
they've been doing it too long. Like the way they're always like, "Oh, you're not our Laurel" and things like that. It's like I'm kind of sick of that now. It's like, yes, we know she's not. She knows she's not. Like, and yeah, but Laurel has a really good line in this episode where she's like, "No, I'm not Earth. I'm not your Laurel. I'm not who I used to be. I'm me."
Yeah,
like good. That's good line, because I'm getting sick of this, the way like the characters work. I mean, it's fair enough that Oliver wouldn't trust her. I think that's fair enough, right? But like,
yeah, because he's been in the prison for 6 months.
Yeah, like he doesn't know what she's been doing. Like, but she, is a different. This is a different character than what we saw last season, than what we saw in season 5, what we saw in the Flash season 2. This is a different character, and it's just like it annoys me, the fact that they keep kind of going back on this. Like Felicity's like the only one who's kind of like all right with her, because they're actually like becoming quite close, it seems, which I like that. I like them too. Granted, Emily met Ricards is, on and off, but I think that them two together, I do enjoy that dynamic.
No.
I'm quite sad we didn't get to see that pizza date. I kind of wanted to see that, to be honest. But then it does obviously come to fruition later on when she does go back to him, and basically has that other scene, and he does actually thank her and things like that, which is good. But she eventually manages to strike a deal with the FBI after Diaz is captured to swap Diaz for Oliver in prison. Which I'm not quite sure if that's how the legal system works.
Oh, let's just say, based on the promo for next week's episode, it's probably not going to go down very well. I mean,
no.
He's literally like, I'm going to spoil the promo here. He's literally just strolling to prison in just your typical hoodie. I just love how casually he does it.
He just takes over the prison easily.
Yeah, we have to talk about the scene though with him and Felicity.
So good.
The scene is it's amazing. Like, here's the thing. I'm a bit records for me in that scene is 50-50. Some of the delivery is good, some of the delivery is downright terrible in my opinion. The acting she has when when Laurel comes in and she says about the deal, and then she's like, he's coming home. Oh my god! It's like, and then the faces that she pulls afterwards. Yeah. It's like, oh my god.
But Kirk is an absolute 100%.
Kirk smashes it, man. It's just like he plays it. It's so funny.
Again, I'm gonna put up the picture of him, of his face, which I have saved on my computer. Obviously, it's totally not my desktop background. But he's there just smiling at her, absolutely just laughing at it, and then he goes out and he scares her, he freaks her out, really good, because Diaz is so intimidating, he's so scary, and just see it, and the fact he's just not fazed by the fact that he has a gun in his face, because he knows Felicity's not going to do it. He knows Felicity's not going to shoot him, and he's even just he pulls open his shirt just to allow her to do it. And I love the fact that when Laurel comes in, because this is the first time that Laurel's seen Diaz as well, and Diaz has seen Laurel, and he's like, oh, you couldn't stay away, could you, baby? I actually thought that was good. I like the fact that Diaz is still kind of playing off of her as well. I thought that was really cool. Diaz is just I love him so much. I love Diaz. I know some people are kind of sick of him, but Also, question about Diaz actually. He kind of was a bit incompetent in the fight, and I find that weird. What happened to that drug he induced himself with?
My theory is it's a temporary drug. That's what I'm thinking, because I don't know. I think it's a temporary drug. I think that's why they were able to defeat him. But once again, I don't really know. They've not really dwelled as much into it as I hoped they would have done. So I don't know. Maybe it's something that we'll see more of as we go on throughout the season with him. But I don't know. But my guesses would be it's like a drug where the effects wear off after a certain amount of time.
Maybe he'll punch a wall in the prison. That's how he gets out. He'll full on Iron Fist. That's basically what his power is. He's basically got the Iron Fist, which I don't necessarily have a problem with. No. I think that's pretty cool. But yeah, I just love Diaz in this, and I like the fact, obviously, this idea of a trade. Although I'm not quite sure that's how prison works, I still think that's a pretty cool idea. Seeing how they're going to do that, and obviously seeing how horribly wrong it's going to go. Because next episode, as people have said, next episode is one of the best episodes of Arrow, potentially. It just looks so good. The intensity of that promo, the way the alarms going off, I think that's amazing.
I'm just prepared for another just epic James Bamford fight. I'm waiting for it.
When you see that James Bamford is directing an episode, you're in for something cool. you just know, because he gets the big episodes. He gets the big ones. Ever since season 5, he's been getting the big episodes. So they've clearly got something big planned here, and I'm so ready for it. I'm so ready. Just give it to me now.
It's gonna be so good.
The action. Oh.
Yeah, I mean, we're fanboying about this episode so much. We haven't even talked about the flash forwards.
Oh yeah, good point. So yeah, the flash forwards continue on. We get to see William, Roy, Dinah, and Zoe. They're basically continuing to look over what Felicity's been doing. So Felicity, you find out
she's dead. Well, it's official.
Well, we knew that anyway, but she, she still could be alive. Who knows?
No. Keep her dead. I don't want her alive.
But we find out she was murdered after she turned evil and took up the role of the calculator.
Oh, this made me so happy, just seeing everyone on Twitter lose their mind.
So how dare Felicity go evil, but she's dead as well. Perfect combination.
This is just true euphoria.
Yeah, this was really cool. And you find out that her plan was to blow up Star City. I'm still waiting on the context here. I'm still waiting on the explanation. Obviously, they're still trying to figure out, well, why would Felicity do something like this? And it's just I don't know. I bloody want to know because this is quite an extensive quite an extensive length to go to, especially because we don't know her reasoning. I love how this is the exact opposite of Arrow season 1, though.
Oh
Like
yeah,
the symbolism there, where Arrow season 1 was to blow up the Glades, and here they're
now
blowing everything but the
blow up the rest of
Glades.
the city. Yeah,
It's cool. But yeah, I think it's interesting to take Felicity in that direction, especially because in this episode they really like play with the idea, like in the present day, like they show how like dark Felicity can get, given where the situation she's in, and I think that was really interesting actually to kind of play it off because I didn't expect them to do that, and that was good. Also, I have to say, just pure fanboy moment for me. Obviously,
I
pure
know what you're on
Roy,
about.
Roy getting out the bow, shooting the tennis balls. Oh my god, I screamed. I was just like I literally just jumped up in my seat, like fist pump in the air. I was just like, that was pure. That's what I've been waiting for this season with Roy. I've been waiting for that. Finally
That
got it.
scene.
Just yeah, that moment. I've been waiting for a moment like that with Roy. That's what I've needed in season 7, and I've got it. I'm happy. I can die happy now. Actually, I need to see Avengers 4 first, then I can die happy. So yeah, I thought all that stuff was great. Again, Roy continues to be great. Now they do set up this thing where obviously at the end of episode 2, in the flash forwards, we see Roy get a message out of Oliver's bow, and we don't see what the message is. Now he tells Dinah that what did he say? It was the mark of 4.
Mark of 4, yeah.
He said he saw the mark of 4. Now I've looked into this. I don't know. There's nothing about it. I don't have a clue what it is. When it first came up, the first thing that popped into my head was the quadrant, but I don't think that's got anything to do with it.
No.
So I don't really see where this is going to go. But I thought this was great on the whole, and just like seeing all these flash forwards again, I love them. I like the dynamic between William and Zoe as well. The stuff between Roy and Dinah. Like Roy, I keep saying this, but Roy has got to be in the main storyline because him and
He's got to
Dinah,
be.
because it's obvious because him and Dinah, they know each other well here, and at this point in Arrow in the present timeline, Roy and Dinah have never met each other. So I think Roy has got to be in the main storyline this season at some point. And I'm ready for that. I think it'd be great if they did it in the mid-season finale. Obviously, I feel like the mid-season finale is obviously going to be the Green Arrow reveal, obviously.
Yeah.
But I think it'd be awesome if Roy comes back as well.
Yeah, I imagine it's probably. I mean, I'd love to see him then. Just like you say, I want to see him integrated to the main storyline because then it'll, like I say, add a bit of like payoff to obviously him and Dinah, knowing each other before. And like, here's the thing, I was still waiting around for them to maybe suggest more that Dinah's actually like lost a canary cry in the the future flash forwards, but we still don't get it. I mean, because the thing is, you get a better look at her throat in the episode, and you can see clearly inside it. But I just find it weird that they've not pointed it out, like if she has lost a canary cry or not. Like, I don't know.
Yeah, but all these flash forwards are cool, and I guess there is one more thing to talk about, which is that painting with Curtis and Diggle. They're talking about this painting, and it's hinting at the Ninth Circle. So this is interesting.
Yeah, that doesn't surprise me too much because, I mean, they were kind of hinting at it like with season 6. They were hinting a little bit at the Ninth Circle with the quadrant. So I think it's cool that they're setting this up, obviously, because it's something that feeds off of the back of season 6. But yeah, I mean, obviously we'll have to wait and see, what they do, with this, what they do going forward. So I'm interested in the Ninth Circle because it's a different kind of big bad if they do turn out to be the big bads for the season.
Yeah. What's interesting is Stephen Amell said there isn't a direct big bad this season, which I think is inherently clear, given that Diaz, even though he's a regular this season, his story is going to be very unpredictable. The Longbow Hunters are not the threat they were promised, and then we could potentially be seeing the Ninth Circle come in, especially because they had like Cyrus Broderick last season, like you say. I don't know if the Ninth Circle will come in this season. I kind of hope they do, or if they'll leave him maybe for season 8 as the final villain. I don't know, because they might just want to end off Diaz's arc. Because like I say, especially because he's a regular, he's going to be sticking around, so he clearly has an arc this season. So I don't know what they're going to do in terms of the big bad, because like I say, there isn't a direct big bad. So I don't know. I think it's interesting the fact they're teasing it, but I guess we'll just have to wait and see what they do with it, and if they even come into fruition this season, which they very likely may not. So is that everything for this episode? I think that's pretty much it.
Yeah, I'd say that's pretty much it for everything. I mean, as you can probably tell, we Arrow was the MVP of the week as always. As always. It
just always is.
Yeah, we, like I say, we're constantly broken records saying this, but Arrow is just it's hit its form. I'm going to say it right now. I think this is the best start to a season since season 2. I think this is better than season 5.
Oh yeah. At this point, it is. And funny enough, we were just talking about the new Green Arrow. There's been about Oliver suiting up. There's a photo just been released from someone on set called Glenn Winter, who I think is a director.
Yeah, Glenn Winter's an Arrow director, yeah.
So he's taken a picture of himself inside the SCPD with Stephen Amell, Rick Gonzalez, and Juliana Harkavy, and Stephen Amell is in the Green Arrow suit. I've just seen this just now.
So he's in the Green Arrow suit?
He's in the Green Arrow suit. I'll send it to you now. So they're film. This is episode 12. This will be.
Yeah.
This will be episode 12 because episode 11, which is they were just finished filming, was David Ramsey's episode.
Yeah.
So obviously, David Ramsey's not directing this. I'll send you this on Discord now.
Damn. Maybe then episode I don't know. Maybe David Ramsey's episode is the one actually finally hoods up, because the thing is that episode's been. It feels like it's been very secretive in terms of filming.
Yeah.
So maybe that's
especially because we know, because episode 10, the way I read it is especially going to be like a flashback episode. That's the way I'm taking it, given that it's they're really going to focus on Emiko Queen, because it was called My Name is Emiko Queen. Changed it now. What's it called now? Shattered Lives.
Yeah.
Yeah. So they've changed it to that now, but it was My Name is Emiko Queen. So I'm going to take that as a flashback episode. Episode 11 is going to be David Ramsey's episode, which could be that, but then episode 12, based on this photo which I've just sent you, is he's in the Green Arrow suit. So
to be fair, I'm a bit disappointed only because I wanted to do I just wanted them to do a Daredevil where it's just he goes back into the original suit. I was kind of wanting that.
Yeah, that would have been cool.
I would have liked to see that, and then for him to progress to the wearing that suit.
Where is that other suit?
Yeah, because I mean the thing is, he shouldn't have got it in the first place. Yet they just randomly say, "Oh, he had a spare version of it," and then it's
in season 6 he puts it on for that episode, which is amazing.
And it's and as far as we know, it's still lying around somewhere. So
maybe it's not. Maybe he left it in the bunker because the bunker blew up.
No, don't say that. Don't say that. No, you're making me cry. You can't do this.
I keep forgetting the bunker blew up. I keep forgetting about that.
Yeah, it's there somewhere. I reckon it's still untouched.
It's unbreakable.
Exactly.
It's still in there. Still in there, completely invincible. But that's a cool photo though. I've just seen it, and what's curious, I think here, and this may purely be a coincidence of where they've taken the photo, but the fact this is in SCPD.
Yeah.
So is Green Arrow accepted now? And everyone knows it's Oliver, so he's like a public hero.
Very interesting.
Who knows? That's quite interesting.
Who knows?
That's fun.
Who knows?
I'm waiting until we get that mid-season trailer.
Oh, that's gonna be awesome. Can't wait for it.
Because I mean, to be fair, say what you want about season 6, but that mid-season trailer was pretty sick. I mean, it completely false advertised those few episodes.
Oh, it definitely false advertised. Oliver's were like, oh,
this looks sick.
Decent. Oh, shoot, it's shit.
And then we got episode 10, 11, 12, 13, 14. 13 was good, but yeah, it's just like...
But the rest of them were just sucked balls.
Especially 14. My God.
Swinging an axe at Oliver, and it's like, I have the moral high ground, horse.
Bloody Obi-Wan over there. But yeah, still, I think that pretty much does bring us to the end. Also, did you have a look at those photos I sent you as well of the Flash cowl?
Yeah, I've seen the photos of the Flash costume. Yeah, looks better, but still waiting for that chin strap. The only thing I will say, I can tell that obviously have they brought the chin, I don't know what you call it. It's not got a chin strap. Obviously, where
the neck piece.
It looks a lot lower down.
Yeah,
and some of the photos I think it looks decent, but then there's the one from the side. And it just looks a little bit weird, like the one where he's talking to the director. Can you see it on the 3 you've sent me? Yeah, it's like the one where he's talking straight to him.
Yeah,
I don't know why, but the chin piece there, it does look a little bit strange. But the other ones are fine, so I don't know.
Yeah, it's basically they changed the cowl to the point where it looks a bit more like the old cowl they had.
Yeah, I don't know. This is like the only costume that I've known to time. I can look at it in one photo and think, oh, it's not too bad. Look at it in the other photo and be like, this is shocking.
Funny, like I was thinking about this. Like I've kind of gotten over it. Like I kind of just like when I'm watching The Flash and I see the costume, like I don't really think about it. Like I don't really. And then if I do start thinking about it, then it starts to kind of put me off. But like, I still wish they would have kept the season 4 suit. But like, you know, it's fine. And this helmet, the helmet does look better in these photos. But yeah, it's fine. So that does draw us to the close of this episode. This was episode 25. Wow, for a quarter of 100. And yeah, so we hope you guys did enjoy this episode. If you did, please give it a like. It'll help us out a lot. Make sure you share this video around with anyone who you think is going to be a fan of this content, and also share it around with anybody else who you also think may enjoy it. And also make sure to subscribe so you don't miss another episode. And as always, I've been Declan.
I've been Dan.
And we hope to see you guys again in the next episode.
See you.